This is Chu-Hung with LexMedia. This is a very special weekend in the town of Lexington. We are celebrating its 300th birthday, and we welcome you to join us to see what's happening here. And everybody's very excited. We're very honored to be here, to be here for the 300th birthday. And even the sun is out, it's shining, it's bright, it's brilliant, saying happy birthday to Lexington. And right now we're going to take you to behind the scenes as to what's happening in this place. And we are showcasing what we call the faces of Lexington. We're very fortunate to have Damien Strohmeyer with us. He lives in Lexington, and a little something that we're very proud about is that Damien is a very well-known photographer.
In the summer, I just heard about this 300th anniversary of Lexington, and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to do a project, photographic project, in which we documented the demographic of the town, kind of from my view, and try to be an accurate look at what the town is like today, as opposed to 100 years, 200, and 300 years ago. To leave for the citizens that are coming to Lexington after we get done. So my plan is to try to photograph around 50 portraits of various people throughout the community to show as a gallery show, and then also to leave to the town as a remembrance of the year of 2012 and 13.
And I am so fortunate to be headshot number 1. So all right, here we go.
Head back to me. Here we go.
As you know, to put an event like this together, which is a huge event for 2 days, what the town of Lexington is very good at is to ask this community to step up and to help out. And we're very fortunate that we have these 3 wonderful, beautiful freshman ladies who go to Lexington High School to decide to volunteer for this event.
I'm Abby Quint, and I'm here because it seems like it was a lot of fun to help out at such a big event in Lexington, so I wanted to be a part of it.
Hi, I'm Hannah Cutler, and I'm here today because I think it's important to work on something that's going to be such a big part of Lexington for all the years to come.
Hi, I'm Savannah Jajo, and I think it's really important that Lexington's been around for this long, and something this big just seemed like something that would be great to take a part of.
What would you have to say to the town of Lexington?
Happy birthday, Lexington!
In the town of Lexington, from the colonial times to now, people are always interested in arts and crafts. And we're very fortunate that we have a lot of artists here to share with you their passions, what they love, and how you can also be part of it. We are here with Eleanor, who's a doll maker, and we're going to find out what makes her excited about what she's doing.
Well, we started because I'm into doll houses, and I do a lot of dollhouse work and go to conventions and stuff, and we're always taking small things and packages to the convention, so one thing leads to another.
Okay.
And I thought this would be cute for the 300th. And that's the different stages that you start with the clothespin, and then we have little pieces of wood that we put on them for arms, okay? And then we put little seed beads on them for buttons to decorate them. And then we make little bows to go on the front of the dress. That kind of dresses it up. I'm getting ready for a miniature day that we're having in Quincy in April, so I go from one thing to another.
All right, so different craft events?
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to find Eleanor there. And thank you again, Eleanor.
Okay,
for
thank
being
you.
With us. We're now going to move over to a craft that is straight from the colonial times, and we're talking about rug braiding. And we have Christina Bilwell here and Karen Thompson to share with us why they decide to share this with us at this birthday celebration.
I grew up with it.
Okay.
So being Pennsylvania Dutch, it's just something that was in the household, that was happening. When my mother had downtime watching the evening news, she would sit braiding. And so I just watched it as a child. I didn't really have an interest then. And then when I was out of college, I did a rug with her. So this one was made with more traditional fabrics, which were wool, things that were long wearing, and things that were long wearing when I grew up were denim, were my jeans. So we ripped up jeans for that one. And then we didn't have those things around the house for today. So The fabric that was scrap and lying around the house was fleece today. So it's really a from then to now sort of experience.
That's great. As I'm listening, I find that, the most important thing is that look for scraps, and whatever it is, as long as they're sort of materials that can be braided, they can be used. And so we are doing pure recycling, and that's exciting.
Because in my world now, I don't have time to make new rugs, but I don't need new rugs either. So I'm repairing these that have come apart.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And Karen, tell us how you got involved in this with Christina.
So rug braiding itself, I became involved because of Christina, my neighbor, and I myself grew up doing cross stitch, and in my family heritage, my family heritage is French Canadian, and there's a specialized rug hooking method from Canada, from Cape Breton, that I've learned as an adult, and so handwork has always been part of my heritage. And now, as a neighbor to Christina, I've been rug braiding has always had an interest to me, but I have the opportunity now to be doing rug braiding as well. So what I've got here are 3 strips of fabric. It is quite like braiding hair for people who know how to braid hair, and it's just the crossing over of one piece of fabric to the other. I'm holding it very close and tight to the braid itself. It helps keep a uniform braid and tight and stronger, simpler line for the continuation of the braid, and knowing that you're eventually going to be merging it in to other fabric and then becoming a rug.
Wow, that's something I've learned to really appreciate about rugs now whenever I see braided rugs, and that there's so much thought put behind it, not just for the beauty itself, but to make sure it functionally works well too, especially when there's a lot of little feet running all over them when you have kids. We are fortunate to find another wonderful craft that comes from the colonial times being enjoyed 300 years later. And in this case, they have been celebrated by our young adults in Lexington.
Well, when I was in 2nd grade, I got this loom as a gift for Christmas, and ever since then, I've been really interested in weaving and using different types of looms. Well, I think it's really fun, and I enjoy the different colors, and it's very creative.
These are some of the wonderful scarves that are made from weaving. And what I like about it, that it's been crafted, handcrafted, and it's done with love and enjoyment. So that, so when you have this around your neck, that, you're being wrapped in love. And that's how I felt when I was looking at all this.
Well, this is just an example of an easier way to weave. So for the younger kids that come in, I can show an example of a smaller project they can do.
Thank you. Now, you mentioned about in the colonial times, weaving, it's not just something you take up for fun. Now you do it because you enjoy it and all that. When the colonial times, weaving is more than that, isn't it?
Yes, because in the colonial times, you really just couldn't go to a department store and buy your clothing, so you had to make it yourself. And so people would have a loom so they could weave their clothing for their family.
Is it very easy to get all these different materials to do weaving?
It definitely is. There are a lot of companies that sell these looms, and all this yarn I'm using, it's very accessible. You can really buy it anywhere, and so it's definitely something that anyone who wants to can do.
That's right. And all you have to do is head out to your local arts and crafts store. I think around here is AC Moore, and what's the other one called? Michael's. Joanne's Fabric and Michael's. We're so fortunate, living in Lexington, is that we're access to the quick highway to all these 3 places, and we hope that we'll see you there to pick up the weaving and to feel a part of the tradition of the colonial times.
My name is Hua Dong, and I'm just a volunteer here. Today I'm womaning the table, the calligraphy table, to demonstrate both styles, both the colonial time and imperial time. Because during the colonial time in Lexington, the main writing instrument is actually the simple quill. Looks very simple, but then it's been the only writing instrument for hundreds of years, and it's very bothersome too. You have to pick it from a big bird, such as a goose, such as a swan, such as a turkey, and then you need to dip it into some very high quality ink. So it writes to sign some very important document with. And this one, as we can see, there's lots of people have already tried their hands with this new old writing instrument, and many of them are not used to writing with a quill too, but they find it very fascinating. And also to the other side, I'm thinking during the same time, another tradition has been going on for thousands of years, and that's Chinese calligraphy, which uses, the writing brush and also the ink, and just like this, so the use of a bamboo stand, and also use some either the fox hair or horse hair, or sometimes wolf's hair, to make a very fine brush. And then the people have been using this for thousands of years to practice as art, and also making the official documents. And still to this day, kids in United States might not use quill anymore, but I heard in the Supreme Court they still want to hold up this tradition by using quills. Like over 1,000 quills are used per year during this by Supreme Court every year. And same in the same vein, the Chinese, and many Asians, from Malaysia or from Japan, kids are still studying the traditional way of calligraphy.
Isabella, looks like Mr. Dong had done your name in Mandarin, in Chinese characters, and I understand you study Mandarin in school too?
Yes.
Okay, great. And can you share with us how you say that in Mandarin?
Isabella. Okay. It means, and this one means like girl or female, and that one means gentle, and that one means treasure, and then this one is just a character for names.
Like a la.
Yeah, la.
Okay, yeah. Can you say that one more time?
Isabella.
Isabella, that's great. Yeah. Thank you for doing that. That's the thing about when you speak in Chinese, is a lot of tonations, like singing. And it's wonderful when you have a name like Isabella and you translate, it makes beautiful music, right? And with, I think with the Chinese characters, each one of them has a very special meaning too. So looks like Mr. Dong had put together a beautiful set of words for you. We're very fortunate to have two masters who I'll have you explain who they are.
Oh, sure. He's my father, and Mr. Dong, and Fugen Dong, and he's my friend, and Mr. Jing, who is a master calligrapher and painter, all in traditional Chinese paintbrush.
Oh, wow. And it's thank you for being here. 谢谢. 谢谢 means thank you very much for joining us. And if you're here, you're very fortunate to be able to have them write your name in Chinese characters. And fortunately, I already have my name when even though I say that I'm from Malaysia, I am actually Chinese in heritage. And when I was born, I was given a Chinese name. So my Chinese name is Shi Chu Hong, which is Shi is Ko, which is my family name, and our family names usually come beforehand. And then Chu Hong is my name. And as I've introduced myself, in America, I call myself Chu Hong, which is Chu Hong, and Ko, which is Shi, which is my last name. So if I can ask you to write my name, 这就是许chu红就好。秋是这秋天的秋，红色的红。Yeah， 喜呢就是是这喜是这样的喜。Right, right. As I mentioned that for Chinese characters, each of them is very special, and I'm just telling them how my given name in Chinese characters it is. And Chu Hong really translates directly into autumn red. So mine is Xi, which is my family name, Xi Chu Hong. 谢谢，谢谢。
Yeah, very beautiful name. Yeah,
very beautiful.
And fitting to New England especially.
Autumn red, yeah. And again, 谢谢 for being here, and thank you.